Hi,
What?
darling.
Look at you, my beautiful Hope with Holly. How are you?
Good. I am in Phoenix, Arizona in my nephew's bedroom, so don't mind all the Minecraft stuff.
Don't mind it at all.
Oh. Okay, so I know that you said that today we would do my dating app profile,
Hey.
but I'll be honest with you, and I hate even saying this. I don't think I'm ready because I feel some bitterness in my heart towards men right now, just with the onslaught of, even though I know it's not all men, I know it's not all men. I just don't think until I like fix that, heal that, then I should not be dating. What do you think?
That's fair, right? That's fair. Because what you're choosing to not do, like you're being self-aware. You're going, you know what, right now I feel kind of negative. And instead of like forcing myself into people's environment and not properly assessing them, because the mindset
Right.
that I'm in right now is jaded.
Yeah.
And so I will treat a good man like a piece of shit right now if he's sitting across from me, because I have a jaded sense of men right now because I'm going through some experiences and I don't want to put someone through that who doesn't deserve it. And that's fair.
Yeah. It's been the post that went viral, and I just still, to this day, I think it's been 2 weeks since I posted that. I'm still getting really hateful messages from men.
Yeah.
I know it's not all men, and I know there are wonderful men that comment on my post and are enlightened and healthy and stuff.
Yeah. So let
And I know that the men who are the most hurt are the loudest. And so that's who I'm hearing constantly coming at me.
right.
Um, what do you think?
I think we should explore that. I think we should kind of like sort of start with this from the beginning, and sort of help people understand what's going on, so that as you and I are working through this, they understand exactly what we're talking about. So the
Okay.
viral post, what did you say in that post?
So I've been talking a lot about your book, The No More Assholes, that we read, and been talking about the stipulations and or what my boundaries, my standards are now going to be: no kissing, no sex, no exclusivity, no sleepovers for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
And I've had so many men uh, send me private messages and comments on my posts that it's ridiculous. Of course, you and I talked about this last time. No man's going to want to date you. You have those strict standards and stuff.
Yeah.
So then I had a man who also, he keeps saying this to me, and he made a comment saying, slipping pickings are slim for you, my darling, basically.
Yes.
And I was probably PMSing. I don't usually post anything with anger or frustration, but that particular day I did.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to tell you, I'm going to just go ahead and speak on behalf of all the women who've been doing the work and the therapy and stuff. We don't give a shit.
Mhm.
We don't give a fucking flying shit if you're if pickings are slim for us, because we would rather be alone than be with an abusive asshole.
And we can.
And we can, and we're not going to lower our standards just to be with somebody. And all the men thought that I said we'd rather be alone than be with any man because they're all abusive assholes.
Yeah. Do you think that's men though, or do you think that's guys?
Guys, yeah, 100% guys. 100% guys.
Yes.
Yes, I still have to work on that terminology. But because there were actually a few men that commented, few, like maybe 5,
Mhm.
saying, of course, you're right. You know, nobody should want to be with an abusive asshole. You know, they actually listened to what I said. They didn't jump to conclusions. Um, so, there's just so many men coming at me saying stuff I don't believe. I don't agree with them. You're infertile, you're old, nobody wants to be with you anyway, da 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 da. And now that stuff brushes off my back
Good,
because I don't believe any of that.
good.
But what it has shown me is, oh my God, there's a fucking ton of you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of you.
Yes.
And I'm going to be really honest, and I probably shouldn't say this either, but it does feel like only 25% of men, 25% of males are men,
Right.
and that 75% are guys.
25 is a good number, my love. 25 is a good number. I want you to kind of understand that the volume, and I know you do, but I'm going to say this out loud anyways. The
Okay.
good men, right? You saw 5 men versus guys. You saw 5 men commenting on
Yes.
your post. Do you know where the rest of them are?
At work,
Exactly. They're too
doing
busy.
their life.
They're too busy working to be on social media. Yeah.
Yes. Because, and honestly, I don't know how these guys are doing it. Uh, well, I mean, I work from home, so I can, but they're literally just
Oh yeah.
all day, all day.
Yeah.
And, what I did recognize is that, um, first of all, they put their profile picture as like this beautiful man.
Or a
I
woman.
know you're not,
Okay. Not
or a woman.
not every female name and female photo is a woman.
That's true. And so they just all day, one thing after the other. And they're what I recognized was they just wanted my attention.
Mhm.
Surprisingly enough, they hate me. I'm old, I'm bitter, I'm dried up and rotten, but they sure wanted my attention all day long.
Yeah.
So I'm just a little exhausted from them. And what I was actually really hoping for, what I think that the world needs more of is uh, positive stories,
Mhm.
good examples like you and your husband. Um, and I was wondering, do you have uh, on your website or on YouTube or something, do you have like videos, like real life stories of women and men who've done this and it's succeeded?
Yes.
You
Yes.
do. Oh my
So
God, I need to watch them so
this,
bad.
like you're so close. It's not videos, but I made a TikTok and I pinned it. I pinned it. It's the very first pinned TikTok on my bio.
Okay.
It says, comment your experience using the no kissing for 3 months dating rule. And I've been having people go over there. I do my live streams and I'm like, oh, by the way, have you used this on purpose or by accident? And I'll get people commenting, usually a couple people at least. I'm like, please go add your voice. So if you go read those comments, there's over 100.
Okay. I would love to do that because I just feel I've just been so bombarded with negativity. Um, I need to like fill my cup up again with
Yeah.
some people's positive experiences.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that there are positive experiences, and I have friends that have happy, wonderful marriages. Uh, but I'm so glad that you have that. I will look that up.
So I want to give you
So,
some tips before we move on from there. Can I give you some
okay,
advice to help you save your sanity?
yes, you
Because
block everybody.
so listen, this is social media. Engagement is good. It's good to let them on your channel because while they're typing out their little trolley diatribes, TikTok is counting views. You know what I mean? Your video
Yeah,
can't playing, it's counting the timeline. Even if they pause the video, it's counting the timeline, counting it as a view, right? So thank you for
Yes.
the engagement. I appreciate your statistic. You are free labor. This is the thought that's
Yeah.
in your head as you're reading these trolley comments. Thank you. Look at you helping me. Look at you
Mm-hmm.
helping me. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
will reply to some of them. I will write one reply and that's it. And then I just leave them in the dust. And they're just doing the little typey, trying to get my attention, right? They're trying to re-engage me. I don't care. I'll let my followers deal with them. I'll let the other
They
people
do.
support me, right? And they do, don't they? So you,
Yes.
Holly, your energy is too precious to waste on a selfish short-term thinker. Your purpose is to educate and uplift. So
Yes.
letting a selfish short-term thinker take you down is you letting them take your power,
Mm.
because it keeps you from supporting and uplifting and teaching because you are wrapped up responding to these guys. You're not going to change their mind, Holly. Their goal
So
is
true.
not to be educated. Their goal is to get you.
Yes.
Don't give
So
it.
my response eventually just became, um, so I assume you thought I said all men, and that's why you're on here trying to criticize and break me. Would you mind watching it again?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, a lot of men have gone back and watched it again and they've apologized, which I'm super grateful for. And then there's the others that just keep fighting and,
Yes.
but okay, so you just do one response and that's it. You don't continue to engage.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
because it's stealing my joy.
It's stealing your joy, it's stealing your love,
Yeah,
it's stealing your energy, it's
it
stealing
is.
your time, it's stealing your focus. Why are you letting selfish short-term thinkers take? They have zero desire to contribute. All they want to do is take, and you're handing it over.
Yes, because I have a warped fucking belief that I can help everybody and help enlighten everybody. And quite frankly, I can't.
When the student is ready, the teacher is here. And
Yeah.
the ones where you say, hey, I'm assuming you think I said this, take a look at it again. And they came back and apologized. You said this to some people and they continued on their negativity. So you
Yes.
lay your wisdom, you lay your pearls, you lay it out there and you let them do with it what they will. But you don't need to get wrapped up into what I call willful ignorance, where they pretend they don't understand what you're saying for the sole purpose of engaging you and wasting your time in circular conversations.
Willful ignorance.
Mhm.
You said that last time. It's like weaponized incompetence.
Yeah,
It's kind of the same kind of a thing.
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to work on that.
Mm,
I am going to work on that. In the meantime,
yeah.
I figured we'd have a difficult session today.
Okay,
Difficult for me.
let's do it.
Uh, when I read your book, the one chapter in your book that really made me put your book down for a second and be like, was the chapter 44, 7 qualities a real man is looking for in a woman.
Right.
And I realized, holy crap, I'm not actually all of these things.
Okay.
We walk around as women. My female followers aren't going to probably love today's post. Um, because so many of us like to point fingers at the men. But this was a really good chapter about a woman and who she is and how she can be, you know, more of a blessing in the relationship. So I have questions for each one of your points,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yes.
So first one, you say, men, first of all, we're talking about guys versus men. So let's just clarify that.
Yeah.
If you're just looking for a hookup or whatever, this is not what you're looking for. This is what a man is looking for a long-term relationship. Number one, a woman who is emotionally strong.
Mhm.
And you have this sentence that says, men appreciate a woman who is strong enough to have the patience, nurturing, and love to see them through their own emotional tough times.
Yeah.
So, uh, what I hear from men is, no, 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 women don't want us to be emotional. Women don't want us to be emotional. And I'd like your thought on this. What I think is women in general are okay with men being emotional. If you want to cry at a sad part in a movie, or because your father died, or at a wedding because it's joyful, or your child's birth, or any of those situations, anything, then cry. I think what women don't like to see is a man who plays a victim in his emotions.
Mhm.
And so I think women tend to think I can't coddle his feelings or he's going to turn into this victim.
Mhm.
So what would you say to that?
So men are always proactive. They don't like to not be, because men take a lot of pride in being responsible, being on top of things, putting the head down and getting the job done, even when you're tired, even when you're stressed. You know, my husband is literally working himself to the bone. He's walking that delicate balance of working so much it destroys his body and his mental health, and maintaining his body and mental health, right? Like he does very, in-depth health, Jesus Christ, hyperbaric therapy. Holly, this is like, you
Oh,
know what this is? You stick yourself in a little submarine and you pump it full of
yes,
air to put your body under pressure that imitates you scuba diving, being under these pounds and pounds
yes.
and pounds of water pressurizing you. You put yourself under this pressure, you breathe in pure oxygen, you depressurize your body, and others coming back to the surface, and your body takes all this oxygen, pulls it into all of your tissues, helping your body heal, because oxygen heals. If you cut your finger and stick it underwater, it's never going to heal. You got to put it up in the air. And so, he does these things to walk that line, to work hard enough, right? And so, even though
Mhm.
his mental health and bodily integrity was suffering because he took on a massive load, which is moving shops from like an 8,000 square foot shop to a 16,000 square foot shop, and the machines, the things that were so massive, you need a flatbed truck, to the things that are so small, you pack 1,000 in a box. He moved all of this. And then
Mhm.
the bank is like, hey, listen, you got to make 25% profit. Otherwise, we're going to take it. And so the mental strain that he was going through, and despite all of that, what you saw was a man who was getting it done. And what he does about that is go to the doctor, do some meditation, do his hyperbaric therapy to reduce inflammation in his brain, which is depression and anxiety, do the hyperbaric to help his body heal because of the physical labor he goes through. He has me making this disgusting concoction of olive oil and garlic and lemon juice and cayenne pepper and turmeric, right? Because he's got
Yes,
a blood clot in his leg and he's got high cholesterol. He's on top of things. So even
yes.
though he has all of this that he faces, he doesn't sit back and go, I'm just going to let the world fall apart around me.
Okay.
That's a man. And so you support
Yes.
him through that. You know what I did with my husband when he was going through that stress, that fatigue? I brought him O. Henry bars, because when he would see me show up with a chocolate bar in my hand, he would smile. And I go, that's a good
Mm,
thing. That's a little dopamine hit in his head. And then I would go
yes.
kiss. And I go, that's a good
Yes.
thing, because that's some amphetamine, aphrodisiac, and antidepressant. I'm going to dose him with some good drugs. So you take the man who is struggling when life gets hard. You pick the man who's going to continue to be on top of things, right? He shows you responsibility. That's one of the traits that we want, is somebody who is responsible, conscientious, work
Yes.
ethic. He applies that work ethic to his own mental health and emotional well-being and bodily integrity. And yes, sometimes it's hard, but you are the pillar of support during those times by his side, going, babe, I got you. I got you. I'm behind you with the hands. You can do the trust fall. I know you're holding yourself up, but I
Mm,
and I say this about my husband, I'm his ride or die because I've watched him for 17 years look after other people, work that hard so other people have security of his labor. And I am ride or die for this man. I go, listen, someday some piece of machinery falls on you and you're in a bed and I got to I have to feed you. Where's my mouth? Spoon feed you and change your diaper. I'm there because you deserve it, because I have watched you support other people. And there's been moments where I've been your source of support and strength. My husband will say there were times when he held the relationship together and times when I held the relationship together. And that's what I'm
mm,
talking about. You pick a man who is strong and capable, and he's so willing to be that pillar of support. But you pick the man who is so strong that you admire so much that you would gladly be his pillar of support if and when he needs you, because he earned it.
so I I guess I have a fear in my head that I could marry a man and he might turn into a guy. Does that happen?
Right. So men are men. Men
Okay.
are men. They
They don't
don't,
revert back.
they never were. They never were a guy.
Mm,
They never
they
were.
never were a guy.
Yes. So there's no reverting back because it's not such an effort to be a man. It's it would tax my husband more mentally to not be a man.
Right.
He would feel shitty. He will feel dissatisfied.
Worried, shame, all, guilt, all of that. Okay. That's good to know.
Mhm.
Okay. Number two, uh, men are looking for a woman who has weaknesses. So basically, what I just concluded from these few paragraphs is basically men are looking for a woman who's also vulnerable.
And vulnerable is the truth, right? I keep thinking I want to make this TikTok because it keeps smacking me in the head whenever I hear the word vulnerable. I don't think people truly understand what vulnerable means. I think if you break it down into a simpler word that is a behavior, we understand it better. Vulnerable is the truth.
It's the truth. Yes. It's
Yeah.
speaking your truth in the most authentic way,
The
I
truth
guess.
is, I would like help opening this bottle because it's hard for me
Yes.
now. And I don't have to act so strong that nobody has to help me. The truth is, I appreciate it when you kill the spider on the ceiling for me because I'd rather not have it jump on me when I'm trying to chase it down. I appreciate that you do that. The truth is, I need somebody to hug me sometimes because I've had a bad day and I just want to have somebody put their arms around me and tell me everything is going to be okay.
Yes. We want to we want to feel wanted,
Everybody does.
right?
I remember when my husband
Yes.
and I first started our relationship, this kind of was a contention for a little bit. I said, I want you to need me. Do you need me? And he's like, no, I don't need you. My husband is he's so strong.
Literal.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I don't need you. And I'm like, this doesn't sit right with me. And then finally he said, I need you to be this happy. And I was like, there it is. That's all I needed to know that you needed me in some way. We need
Yes.
to feel like because it's puzzle pieces. When you find the right partner, it's supposed to be a puzzle piece. I satisfy their weaknesses. My strengths satisfy their weaknesses. So we want to feel needed.
Yes. Yes. That was good too. So one and two is basically we need to be vulnerable.
Honest.
We need to let them be vulnerable and we need to be vulnerable. We need to be honest. Exactly. And in a mature way.
Yeah.
Okay, number three. Who? Men want a woman who is feminine.
Yeah.
So these gender terms are hot right now.
Yes, yes.
Uh, Gender is a construct. Are we talking about the social construct of femininity, or are we talking about feminine energy and masculine energy? Um, what do you mean by that?
I just mean how you look.
Oh, oh, okay. He wants he wants you to be
He wants you to look hotty toddy every now and then. And not, it doesn't have to be all the time. I don't even think they would be comfortable like men. You know, it's not like, you know, listen, the moment you wake up, you better look good. And go to sleep in makeup so you wake up looking, you know, men are not like that. In actuality, they want you to be you, they want you to be natural. They don't like too much makeup because they want to see your face, because they love your face the way it is, right? They love
yes,
you, the human being that you are. They do not require that you look pretty, cute, done up all the time at all. Because listen, they want to relax into themselves, into their humanity. There's nothing wrong with you relaxing into your humanity, not showering for 4 days, walk around in rubber boots all day long, wearing an old t-shirt and your hair like messy bun, right? They don't care.
yes,
They don't care about that. But every now and then, when you step out, when you go have a dinner, and you do the hair and you do a little bit of makeup, you know, to enhance those eyes, make your eyes and lips pop, right? That's all. They don't need the foundation and the contouring. The little pop in the eyes, little pop in the lips, like, look at that. That's it.
yes,
Nice, cute outfit. You're looking at your figure, looking at your butt. And by the way, when I say figure, I mean as round as it is, just bootylicious, just all your beautiful curves. He's with you because he loves every part of you. The back fat, he loves it too, girl. He loves it too. He doesn't give a fuck. But dress
yes,
cute, and that's it. Just every now and then you guys step out,
yes,
and you step out with the makeup and the hair and the outfit, and he goes, mm, yes, girl. I think you're hot all
yes.
the time. You're beautiful all the time, but yes, girl. That's what I
So
mean.
basically, you're not necessarily saying grow your hair long, put on a sundress, do the makeup, the contouring, and all that stuff. What you're saying is be the every once in a while be the best version of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
And
some women don't fit that stereotypical feminine look.
I don't.
And that's okay. Men, what? You don't.
But seriously, I look like this for you, but I don't look like this when I'm not making videos.
Oh, yeah, me either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I guess I want women to know, look, if you're more of like a tomboyish personality, that doesn't mean you got to go wear a skirt. You just, you know, spray that perfume, take it up a notch, wear sexier undergarments that day. So that's what you're talking about.
Every now and then, right?
Yes.
It's just that switch up. We have our normal, comfortable, everyday modality, right? And that's okay.
Yes.
They want to be comfortable everyday modality, right? So
Yes.
there's this wonderful comfort in just listen, me wearing the same thing for 4 days with my husband. He doesn't care. He'll wear the same thing for 4 days too. He likes that we're just so comfortable together. But
Yeah.
every now and then we go out to dinner and he shaves and I put on a cute outfit and he goes, looking good, babe. Right? That's it. That's it. Every now and then.
Yeah. You have this great line that says, watch his chest puff out, his eyes light up with appreciation, and how he smiles when he sees you because you made him feel like $1,000,001 just by looking like a million yourself.
That's
I
right.
love that.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Um, okay, number 4. Men wants a woman who doesn't need him.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants her to be vulnerable, to be honest,
Yes.
to be able to say, I can't open this jar, or can you help me with whatever he's good at, whether it's cooking or whatever. So I love this chapter because, or this section, because well, first of all, you say that a man is a prettier version of a caveman, which is funny. Um, and his instinct is to hunt and go after, and they get suffocated by clingy women.
Yeah.
So men want a woman who isn't clingy.
Hmm.
She has her own life.
Yeah.
Um, and you also say, uh, whether that's pursuing your pleasure or pursuing work or business or whatever, it doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
think that is such a great distinction. And and you're right when you say when you need when your need for him isn't constant, it remains something of a novelty.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love that sentence as well. So, how does a woman know if she's clingy?
If she's saying to him, you need to come home as soon as you're done work because I'm waiting for you to live my life. How dare you
Um,
spend time with other people? I'm waiting for you to live my life.
yeah, that's really good because we say that all the time, to live my life. Okay, we don't want that for sure.
I don't.
Um, and if you have a man that won't let you have a life, then you don't have a man. You have a guy.
That's right. You have somebody who is controlling you.
And we know that the number one definition of abuse is somebody who controls.
And the number 12 definition of a generous long-term thinker is wanting your happiness. That's number 12. Out of the 12, number 12 is him wanting you to be happy, meaning he wants you to be fulfilled, meaning he wants you to be well-rounded, meaning he wants you to have a life outside the relationship to go get that fulfillment. Because you can't look at one source and say, this is the only place where I will gain fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from you exercising your talent. It comes from the relationships you have with people outside the relationship that make you more dynamic, more rounded, making you a better person in your relationship.
100%. I remember being married for 20 years and needing feeling like I needed him to my love language is words of affirmation. My kids weren't giving it to me. So I thought I needed him to do it. And then he didn't do it. So then I became like the social committee chair for the neighborhood and did 200 events every year in the neighborhood. And so I got words of affirmation from all those people.
Yeah.
When in actuality, I could have been giving myself those words of affirmation. Well, first of all, him and I were not compatible at all.
Yeah.
But um
And
but
let's
I did at least go look for that affirmation in other healthy ways.
right. Let's not forget the unhealthy way you were seeking that affirmation from your husband at the time, which was through sexuality as some way to gain some form of validation and affection and intimacy.
Yes, because that was the only time I thought he was nice and kind towards me. So that's been a big learning lesson. Okay, number 5, a man wants a woman who will challenge him.
Right.
Okay, so I love this sentence. You say, the thrill of watching you evolve will inspire deeper feelings and give him the sense that he too can change.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you say it does, like this is where you said it doesn't matter what you pursue or educate yourself on, whether you're doing business or you're doing pleasure. What matters is how much it fires you up talking about it.
Yes.
They like seeing the passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Men really like seeing in women what they don't always possess, you think?
Men love seeing happiness on your face. There's two things
Yeah.
play here. One is the instinct to see happiness, which is designed by Mother Nature. Because if men didn't have an instinct to seek happiness in a woman's face, they would not have an instinct to be by her side and be providing for her. And you know, I rarely use the word providing because we have this big dialogue out there that's like, I need a provider, and it just sounds very gold diggy to me.
It
Uh,
does.
but in early Homo sapien, we worked as a team to ensure the survival of the child, survival of the species. If we didn't work as a team, if we didn't pair bond and work together for a good 7 years to ensure the survival of this child that we brought into this world, it may not survive. So Mother Nature designs us with knowledge and instincts to ensure survival. And one of the like for us, the instinct is guilt and nurturing, because if it's not thriving, also very good eyesight. If one day the color goes a little bit more ashen, the baby's eating a little bit less, it's a little bit listless, we need to feel bad about that, guilt, and we need to want to fix it, nurturing. So this is in our DNA and our knowledge. It, by the way, DNA contains every piece of information. It's just turned on or off depending on, right? And so women have this turned on automatically. Most of us, I don't think I do, because anyways, I tie my tubes to fix that. Anyways, I didn't make anybody suffer. So, you know, instinctually, most of us, right? Again, social sciences is the general public. We have that guilt and the nurturing. Men, for them, it's that desire to see the happiness, right? So let me do things for you. Let me make you feel safe. I want to see your face look happy. They have an instinct to seek the happiness. So a good man is a good caveman, like a good woman is a good cave woman, right? We're in touch with our nature. He seeks happiness on your face. That's the 12th character trait. He wants you to go out, get excited about things, not just about him, because he doesn't expect you to make him your whole world, to be so codependent. He wants you to be independent. Go get that satisfaction and bring it to the relationship. Let him see that happiness as you talk about the things that are exciting. That's one part of it. The second, men are intelligent as fuck. They go out and learn things. My husband is learning things all the time. So me
Mhm.
out and learning things and bringing him additional information is like, he's like, yeah, I like this, because it satisfies my intelligence and my seeking nature.
Mm. So they want to see happiness on our face, and
And they
I
want us
thought
to teach them things. They want us to
they want us to teach us.
expand their worlds. I brought the idea of frequency in meditation to my husband, and now my husband is very much into frequency. There's this thing called the Rife machine, which basically emits frequencies, and it's kind of like a tuning fork when you're in front of it. So basically, you set it to certain frequencies, and you can set it to 528 hertz, which is a love frequency, and you sit in front of it, and it helps adjust your own inner frequency to that frequency. Like women that are cycling together, we start getting into the same menstrual cycle because our frequencies start tuning into each other.
Did you say there's a love frequency?
528 hertz. Yeah.
How do I get that? How do I listen to that?
Go to my YouTube channel, go to my Let's Meditate playlist. I've got a 10-minute and a 1 hour by Rich Pendlebury. Will blow your mind.
Okay. That's brilliant. I I love that kind of stuff because I did learn like that we can smell emotions,
Mhm.
that humans can smell emotions. I do understand about we're picking up on energies and frequencies and stuff, but I didn't know that we could override our frequencies
We can adjust,
or
we can change.
adjust.
Yes, absolutely.
That's cool shit. Okay. All right. Number 6. Men like a woman who is confident versus the guys who don't like a boss babe or a girl who's confident or knows what she wants.
Mhm.
Um, so this one I understand. Oh God, I loved when you said this. Okay, so um you say that men want to find out what makes you amazing and love you for it. Um, and you talk about how you say you don't talk about all of your insecurities in front of him because you don't want to discolor his view of you with your own skewed vision.
Right.
That's brilliant.
Here's the thing. My insecurity today might not exist tomorrow because
Right.
I might spend this whole day readjusting my head, my mindset, do some journal writing, go, oh my God, I'm fucking amazing, and change my mind today. So why would I tell him that I feel insecure only to tell him I no longer feel insecure? I mean, I can if I want to, but I don't want to present a problem without a solution. So if I say I'm insecure, what's he supposed to do about that? Because it really is my problem to solve. So I'm just going to dump this on
Yes.
and leave him with it. And he's going to have this impression. And then, if I say I changed my insecurity, does he believe me? Right? Because I already put him in the position of believing I'm insecure, and now I'm not secure. And if he's not somebody, well, my husband is, by the way, somebody who did change insecurity into confidence, and that was a choice on his part, and he's so fucking sexy because of it. And I did the same thing too, by the way, and we can all do that. But if I amplify negativity, and this is where it kind of comes down to what I call the conversation flow chart, where before I say anything, my first step is to choose silence and then divide it into a statement or a problem. Is this something I just want to say, or is this something I feel is a problem? If it's like, today's really shitty, look at the weather, right? So that's a statement. That's not a problem. There's nothing anybody can do about it, neither myself nor you. So it simply is a statement on the situation. Now, is it a positive statement or a negative one? If it's a negative one and I say it out loud, I just took a megaphone to negativity. Why do that? What's the point? So I'm going to not say it because the moment before that, I didn't feel like saying it was shitty today. If I wait a moment and let the moment pass, then the next moment, I don't feel like saying that shitty thing. So don't amplify the negativity because it's just a moment and I don't need to amplify it. But the positivity, I will take that motherfucking microphone and I will say it to the rest of the world because we should always amplify positivity. Now let's go over to the problem. It wasn't a statement, it was a problem. This person isn't paying enough attention to me. So then what I do is I ask myself, am I the solution to the problem? If the answer is no, then I swing back to the question, am I the solution to the problem? No, swing back to the question, am I the solution to the problem? Until the answer
Right.
is yes. And then exercise the solution because a problem that I have is always my problem to solve.
Yes. So, if you're a woman who walks around all the time saying, "Oh my God, I hate my ass, my thighs are too jiggly, I can't ever do anything right, I I'm a horrible mom, I'm horrible at this," da, 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 da. If you're constant, or like my nose is crooked, that's what I see here. So like people used to say like, "Oh my gosh, you're so pretty," and I'd be like, "Except my nose."
Right.
Like my nose has been broken twice and I never got it fixed and it's totally crooked. And they're like, "I never noticed." And I'll be like, "Look, look, look." And then when I show them, now every time they see me, that's what they see. Um, Before they never saw that. So if we're running around constantly pointing out our flaws, then that is what people are going to see, I guess.
It's not just that, it's like you're not letting them love you. Like they're going, oh, love. And you're going, no, negativity.
Uh, you can't love me. How could you love me? Because I look this way, or I don't even have makeup on, or I'm not even dressed, or you can't possibly think I'm sexy like this.
It's negating their love for you.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Not cool at all, girl.
We do that. A lot of us women do that.
We gotta stop.
Um, I know. This is the last one, number 7. Men love a woman who's independent.
Mm.
Um, She is a woman who's doing her own conquering, whether it's business or pleasure. She's not hinging her whole world on him. And she has something that rounds her out financially, mentally, emotionally, so that all her eggs aren't in one basket with him.
Yeah. My emotional well-being is in the palm of my hand. I have not
Yeah.
handed it over to my husband. I've not handed it over to anybody. My well-being is independent of other people's behaviors. So my husband can have a bad day, and it doesn't take me down. I like to call this the emotional
Mm.
booster. So here's our roller coasters right here. So here's my husband and here's me. So if my husband has one of these days, you know what I do? I don't follow him down and have a shit day along with him. Oh my God, you're having a shit day and you're sharp with me and you're not as close and I go to give you a kiss and you're distracted and I'm just gonna follow you down this little shit day hole, right? You're having
Hmm.
a shit day and I'm going to make it about me and follow
Yes.
down the shit day hole. And do you know what gravity does? It means I push him down further and I keep him down longer. And when he comes back up, guess who's up there waiting for him? Nobody.
That's so true.
What if he has a shit day and I maintain my mental and emotional well-being? He has a shit day and I go, oh, baby, that sucks. He comes back up. There I am. Hey, baby, nice to see you again. He feels like it was safe to have his emotions. It was safe to have his thoughts. He wasn't punished for it, nor did the household go into chaos because of it, because I stayed okay because my mental health and emotional well-being is independent of his behaviors.
Thi- As a recovering codependent, that's hard. It's hard for a lot of people who um, absorb other people's emotions. People who call themselves, I'm
there's
sorry.
there's a methodology to this, right? People call themselves empaths. They really wrap their lives around other people. And if you're having a shit day, I'm
Yes.
having a shit day too. And it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the person going through it because you push them down further, keep them down longer. But if you do this, and I understand it can be hard, but you need to get good at asking the question, what do I want? What do I want? The moment you start feeling uncomfortable here, you need to stop dead in your tracks. Holly, I mean, dead in your tracks. I mean, you're walking down the hall and you go, wait a second. I'm not operating on my programming right now. I'm on someone else's roller coaster and I feel distressed. Wait a minute. What do I want? We need to, those of us who have to shift from being codependent, and I was, right? Because my emotional well-being was tied into my husband. That's why we fought for 10 years. My insecurity was his to fix, and we fought for 10 years. And when I took control, man, we haven't had a fight in 7 years, right? But I had to
Mm.
stop myself 1,000 times a day and go, wait a second, what do I want? And bring the focus back in. And first is the physical body. What does my physical body need, right? Because we forget ourselves, don't we? My
Yeah.
physical body hasn't had a glass of water in 4 hours. I'm going to go have a
Mm.
glass of water. I need that right now. I need to do, and you have it. And then you say, what do I want? And you check in. What do I need right now? I need to move. My body's stiff. I need to do some stretches. Do some stretches. And then what do I want? 1,000 times a day, keep readjusting yourself. And this is how you learn to detach your emotional roller coaster from other people's rides. This is how you learn to come into yourself. This is how you learn self-love.
Mm. Very true. Okay, so when your husband is you're so he had a hard day and you're trying to be emotionally strong and he can be vulnerable. Um, how do you comfort his pain, be emotionally strong for him without falling into the same pain basket he was in.
Right. So comforting a man's pain can be really quite simple. It can simply be presence. It can
Just
simply be your consistency, right? So what comforts my husband after a bad day, after bad day, after bad day, is the fact that after any bad day, on his way home, he knows what's going to happen. Hi, baby, and a kiss at the door. He knows because
mm,
he's consistent. Even if I go through whatever shit in my day, I'm not going to vomit on him when he comes home. First of all, I didn't pick a partner who's a source of distress because I picked a good man. I picked a guy who
mm,
takes responsibility for his behaviors and who doesn't do things that I don't accept. So he's not the source of my distress. So when he comes home, if I've had a bad day, I don't vomit on him. I say, hi, baby, give him a hug, give him a kiss. If in my day,
mm,
in my bad day, I needed, because we live on the same property as the shop. So if I needed a hug in my bad day, I could go to him and go, baby, I just need a moment for you to give me a hug and tell me everything's going to be okay. He would drop what he's doing immediately because that's the kind of man I have. He would immediately drop, put his arms around me, tell me everything's going to be okay. So when my husband is coming home, that comfort that he has comes through my behaviors, my consistency, my responsibility for myself. He's allowed to have his emotions. There's been times where he's vomited on me, and instead of going to anger, which is a byproduct of hurt, I stayed in the hurt. I showed him the hurt. I said, that's not fair. And he
mm.
immediately readjusted because I stayed in the truth, that vulnerability, the truth. I showed
Truth.
the truth. I showed the truth on my face. And I said, that's not fair. That's what vulnerability is. It's the truth. Instead of going to anger, why would you do that? That's not okay. I didn't do this. Like, why are you vomiting on? I didn't default to anger, which is the byproduct of hurt. I stayed in the truth of the emotion, the hurt. And I said, that's not fair. And he went, you're right. I'm sorry about that.
I have a problem when I get hurt, and I'm not proud of this at all, and I'm still working on it. But when I get hurt, uh, I either shut down or or I talk so much because I have a need to be understood, you know? And I don't like either of those. I don't like either of those.
Right. So I want to redefine shutdown.
Okay.
So I mean, first of all, there's a difference between feeling hurt when you're in a healthy relationship and feeling hurt when you're in an unhealthy relationship. You will often feel hurt when you're with an unhealthy partner because
You're
they
right.
will vomit on you. They'll use you as a lightning rod. They'll ego trip on you all the time, not take responsibility for their own behaviors, their own thoughts, their own emotions, blame you for everything. So there's a ton of hurt to be had in the wrong relationship. A ton of hurt to be
Mhm.
had. And that's why we need to not be in them. That's why I have a freedom bell that I ring so vigorously whenever somebody comes on my live stream and says, I loved him. And I'm like, fuck yes, right? And I ring this Tibetan bell that I got from I ordered it on eBay, but it's from a Buddhist temple. So I ring the freedom bell. I call it the freedom bell. But I get hurt sometimes, and hurt can be an ego reaction to something. It could be my ego disagreeing with the truth, right? My husband one time said, you don't know everything, Miss Financial Advisor. And the hurtful thing in there was the fact that I convinced him to buy BlackBerry stock and we both lost money, right? And so I had a whoosh. I felt the ego. You can feel your ego. It's a physical sensation. It's a white hot whoo of like anger, and you want to deny what you just heard, right? It hurt.
Yes.
It hurt. I felt my ego rise up and I went, what's the truth in what I just heard? Sometimes you feel hurt because there's truth in what you just heard. Sometimes it's not that you shut down, it's that you take a moment of silence to
Mm.
assess what just happened before you say something so that you don't say the wrong thing. Had I lashed out at my husband when he said, you don't know everything, Miss Financial Advisor, and I said, that wasn't okay, this has nothing to do with that, this would have just turned into a big ego vomiting fight between the two of us. So sometimes when you're hurt, sometimes you do need to be quiet. Not that you're shutting down, just that you're thinking before you're speaking.
Processing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not always great at that.
I teach you how, my love.
Yes. I feel like I've been learning for 20 years and I just still last week somebody said something that was uh not it was an exaggeration, not true. And they said it about me. It hurts so much. It hurts so much. And although other people stood next to me and they were like, you should probably go and like calm down and like process through it and talk to this person later. I I couldn't do it. I like "Ugh." And I was thinking, where is my shrunken amygdala right now?
Right?
Why am I not breathing through this? And it doesn't happen often, but every time it does happen, I'm so ashamed of myself.
Are you sure it wasn't warranted that you needed to put this person in their place so that they stop being shitty?
Uh, well, it was my child.
Okay.
So, and they're a teenager. And they said they exaggerated on something which made me look uh like a really bad mom. And it wasn't true.
Mm.
And instead of just going to them and saying, why did you post this? Like, why did you say this publicly to everybody? Why did you um, exaggerate and lie? I went in like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how could you possibly do this? And like, and give me your phone and you don't get that and da 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 da. And and then because I came in heated, they got heated, and it just kept getting more and more heated. Um, and I feel so bad about that. So it's different. If it was an adult, it very much would have been warranted, I think. But since it's a child, a teenager
Yeah.
who hasn't maturely or hasn't fully developed their brain, uh, shame on me.
Did you apologize after that?
Yes.
Okay. What did you say
They
in your
don't,
notes?
yes.
Did you text the apology or did you say it, but you had notes?
I texted it because I left out of town and and I was on a plane by the time they fell asleep. So I didn't want to go to bed without first telling them. But I said, um, I know you don't like it when I get intense, and I'm gonna work on that harder. I'm sorry I made you feel sad. I'm sorry I could not have contained my sadness better. I love you very much.
Okay. Let me teach you a little bit. We'll do this as like our last little thing today. I'm going to teach
Okay.
you what a three-part apology is. And
Okay.
you can recraft your apology to them using these three parts. You got the first two parts right, which is I'm sorry for the behavior you know you should have could have done better. So behavior or behaviors. So you can rewrite this apology, elaborate it more specifically if you want to. Second,
Okay.
I realize that, and you got it on there too. I realize the emotional outcome this had on you. So you did lay that out, which is wonderful.
Okay.
What was missing was the third part. The third part is, this is my plan for not doing this again.
Huh. Okay.
And that, until you wrap it up with that last part, it is incomplete. And an incomplete apology feels unsatisfactory.
So what if when you go to apologize, you want to apologize right away, but you don't know the plan? Like,
You you think before you apologize.
so what if it takes you 3 weeks to figure out the plan?
Maybe you should come and get some coaching before it takes 3 weeks. But here's the thing though, sometimes it
Yes.
does take time, right? Like I remember at one point there was this weeks and weeks were going by that I was being really quiet. Remember the conversation flow chart that I talked about? Is it a statement or is it a problem? Am I the solution
Yes.
to the problem? So my husband and I, we hadn't fought, like we stopped fighting, but there's like that transition period, right? Like you start working out in order to have that banging body that you, whatever that is that you define it as. But in the beginning stage, it's like you're working out, but you're not seeing a whole lot, right? And that's where we were in that beginning stage. And I don't have this happening anymore, but there was times where I was really quiet because I had a problem and I was trying to find the solution. I kept swinging back. Am I the solution? No. My solution? No. And so I wasn't saying, like, I was spinning in my thoughts, but I wasn't saying anything because I wasn't the solution. I hadn't figured it out yet. And sometimes that'll happen. It takes you time to arrive to the solution. And my husband sometimes would notice, like, there had been days where I was like kind of quiet and he'd be like, "Are you okay?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, baby." He goes, "Are you sure?" And I'd say, "Yes, I'm just working through some stuff in my mind. If I need to say something to you, I will." And then I would reassure him. So yes, processing, right? Now, some people call processing the silent treatment. If you are a generous long-term thinker, it's not the silent treatment, it's you not wanting to say or do something stupid. That's the
Right.
difference. Is it processing? That's what a generous long-term thinker does because they don't want to hurt you. Or is it the silent treatment because this is a selfish short-term thinker trying to punish you?
All about the intention.
It's all about who you selected, the personality, the character, the mindset of the person.
I do remember one time was talking to this old couple. They were probably in their 80s. And I asked them, as I always like to ask older people for wisdom. And I said, what's the best advice you can give to have a happy long marriage? And he just looked at me and laughed and he's like, you married the right person.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, that's right.
This is what I say. We choose the people who are right for us. We do not choose people to change. This is why we use a no kissing for 3 months dating rule.
Exactly. I could not agree more. Well, thank you so much. I
Well,
think that this has been really helpful.
how are you feeling, my love?
Ah, you know, probably I know what it is I feel is guilt. Like, how am I not better at this already?
Mm.
Um, but I also recognize that I'm feeling some shame too.
Shame over what?
You know, um, Brene Brown says, guilt is feeling bad for what you did, shame is feeling bad for who you are. And my daughter or my child situation, I haven't reacted like that in so long. And so, you hope that you've matured and you've moved on. So to see it rear its ugly head again um, can definitely I get these ruminating thoughts sometimes of hopelessness, like, God, are you ever gonna fucking change? Are you ever gonna get better? Um, then I have to, tell myself the truth. You have gotten better. You've gotten so much better. You just made a mistake. And if you're making one of these every year, you're not that bad. Uh, but as a recovering perfectionist, I don't want to make mistakes.
It's not a mistake, my love. It's called humanity. You
Yeah,
human. You are human. Humans are emotional. Emotions are designed into the hardware. The hardware, the software. We are emotional creatures by nature. We gauge the world through the emotions we're experiencing. And sometimes our emotions get overwhelming, and sometimes we vomit. And what you did was a vomit. And that's why the three-part apology is there, because we will be human, but will we take responsibility? The three-part apology, did you realize, shows responsibility for my thoughts, my emotions, my behaviors. I'm sorry for. I realize this is what it did to you. This is what I'm going to do to make sure I don't do this again. Holly, part of your plan, meditation, right?
yeah,
I'm going to increase my meditation minutes because I realize I'm feeling overwhelmed and I vomited on you. I'm going to choose silence before I say or type anything because I know I need to take a moment to assess my thoughts before I say something to make sure what I'm going to say is constructive and calm.
yeah. I did not do that.
That's your plan, my love.
That's my plan. That's my plan. I need to go write that down. Thank you so much. You were such an inspiration. I'm so emotional. Um, on how not to be reactive. You're so good. I mean, that's something that I practice all the time. I reply to these asshole comments as a way to practice being non-reactive. I'm really trying to practice it. Um, and I'm just so grateful, like TikTok or social media platforms shows us people like you who can be such a great example to us. And because if you don't, because I didn't grow up with people like you in my life. I grew up with reactionary people. Everyone was very reactive. So it's familiar. It's normal in my mind. It's what you do and it's acceptable, but it's not.
Yeah.
And so to see you and other people live their lives differently, better, more elevated, uh, I'm just so grateful.
Mm. I'm grateful.
So, and I appreciate that you say that you haven't always been that way and that you were able to change and were capable of change as well.
Yes.
So thank you for this and that.
You are so welcome. I'm here for you, my love.
Thank you so much. Okay, I gotta go and I'll book it hopefully for next week when I get home.
All right, I'm here for you. I can't wait.
Bye.
Bye, Holly.